So I'm going to walk you through every single thing that you need to do to be able to book hundreds of bookings every single month. We've tested it across 400 industries. We book hundreds of appointments for ourselves every month. Our clients do the exact same thing. And this is going to work for every single platform you can imagine. Cold calling, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, email, anything you can think of. This is why Eman invites us to coach in his program, why we're coaching Charlie's, because they've just seen this, they've seen that it works, and all I recommend for this video is just use it. And before we get into it, I want you to ask yourself, what would be the benefit of booking consistent calls every single day for your agency? Being able to choose when you have meetings, how many meetings you have, the quality of these meetings, if they have the money, if they don't, having the skill, what would this do for you? Right? How much would you make extra per month, per year, in the next 5 years, the next 10 years combined, if you just had this skill, which honestly is very straightforward. And once you have that number, use that as leverage for yourself to just go through this entire video and implement everything, because that is possible, that is a reality, and that's what we're going to walk you through in this video today. So there's actually 3 steps that you need to take to book calls on any platform in any location predictably. It's response, interest, and CTA. Now I'm going to walk you through this in a second, but I want to start with some fundamental principles. And if you understand these, it's just going to change the way you view it. Now the first principle is called detached sales. So what we want to avoid is being one of these like spammy gremlins on LinkedIn who's just in your inbox, hammering you with offers, telling you to like buy their AI editing or their web design or some 1,000 leads that they got from some location. We don't want to be these people. We don't want to be spamming. We don't want to be quote unquote salesy. This is not the recommended approach. So what I'm going to walk you through is a way of doing this. And this is actually the approach that we take, not just on the outreach, but also on the sales calls, to again, not come across as some like greasy closer. So what this looks like is, instead of us being like, hey, you need to buy this stuff like this, I promise you this is like the best thing ever, you've got to get this, like some gremlin. What we want to do is, we come from the standpoint of like, hey, we help this other person in the exact same space as you to book an extra 50 calls or to add an extra 50K. Is this something that you might be interested in? It's just so laid back. It's so targeted because we're going after people who are exactly like your case studies or exactly like you want to work with. And we're just saying, hey, we have this thing. Do you want it? Right? We're not saying they need it. And I'm going to give you examples for all this in a second. But we're just saying, hey, if you want it, just let me know and we can set something up. That's it. Now, the next principle is that in sales, our goal is to always sell the next step. Now, what do I mean by this? If you message a prospect, what is the goal of that message? Right? Is it to sell your service? Is it to sell your agency? Is it to present you in the best way possible? What's actually coming to mind now? And if it's any of those things, it's none of those things. And the goal of the first message is to get a response, right? Just to do that, not to sell your service, not to do anything there, just to get a response. So I'm going to walk you through the goals of each section so that whatever happens, right? Whatever happens in the conversation, they ask you this question or they say this thing, you're going to know how to eventually just route it back to getting the booking. These are the things that if you understand this, you don't need the exact scripts. You don't need some copy-paste thing. You understand the fundamentals on how to get them to the booking and to get them to the close as well. And the final principle is externalities. Now, what do I mean by that? So when you are sending outreach on, let's say, LinkedIn, when you're doing cold calling, when you're doing email, whether you're doing anything, there's always going to be external factors that affect your results. An example of this, the clients laugh at this one every time I bring it up, but on LinkedIn, what we tested was we ran the exact same message to the exact same person, but the only difference was that one was from a girl and one was from a guy. The girl, she had a female profile picture, female name, and the guy, as you can imagine, guy name, guy profile picture. The first one performed way better, right? Now, what we actually found is that the response rate was higher, but the overall booking rate was the same. But either way, this just illustrates what the external factors are. The message, the conversation can be the same, but these other things affect it. Then it's like, okay, but Ethan, what affects cold emails, just an email? It's like, no, every single time, we've seen this. When people get an email, a cold email especially, what's the first thing that they do? Do they just reply immediately like, oh, this makes sense? No, they just look at the domain that it came from. Let's say ethan@agp.com. They just copy agp.com, put it in their browser, and they're like, okay, what does the website look like? Okay, that makes sense, reply. That's how it works. Same with cold calling. It's like, they're not necessarily going to look your website up on the call, but what they are going to do is they're going to hear how you're saying it, right? Yes, they're getting the same words, the same script, but how are you saying it? What is your accent, right? You can imagine this will affect things. So while we will cover things that can affect the externalities, and that's a topic for another video, but you don't need to worry about that to get results with this. Like our best setter, there was a point where he was booking, I think he booked like 8 calls in a day, and he had one picture on his Instagram, and it was a picture of his dog, right? It's not like he had a million case studies of ours. I don't even know why he didn't add it to his profile, to be honest. He didn't have any of that. No website in the bio, nothing. He just had a picture of his dog, but he was booking calls because he had all these other fundamentals. And this is the first thing that I teach them. And right before we go into the steps, I just want to say we have a free community where I host a call every Thursday. I want you to apply these systems, see what the results are, and then bring these systems to the Thursday call hosted by me, where I can actually review this for you. I can look at the stats, I can tell you what to do differently, and I can make sure you're on track. We've had people who've gone from 2K to 10K, 10K to 50K, using the free stuff, using the free calls. They just joined every week and I help them. And the only reason that we have the free stuff is that if you want additional attention, additional personalization, someone to guide you through the process, just copy and paste what's working today, then you can join the partnership program. But honestly, you might not even need it. So if you want to join the free group, check the second link in the description. If you're interested in the partnership program to really compress time, that's the first link. So finally, the steps. These are the 3 steps to booking calls in any single situation, any platform, anything. Response, interest, booking. Now, what do I mean by that? There's 3 steps to book calls anywhere, right? So step 1 is getting a response. So this is our first message, our first interaction, our first email, our first thing that we say on the call. And the goal of this step is to get the response. It's not to sell your service. It's not to do anything else. It's just to get a response. Now you could ask, okay, but should this be done in like a format where I'm just like having a conversation with them? Like I should just ask like, hey, how are you doing? Or should I actually go for the offer? Always go for the outcome. And I'll give an example in a second. Compare 2 messages. One, let's say I'm helping e-com brands. So message number 1, which is talking about the outcome, is, hey, we just finished helping Gymshark to add an extra 4.8 million to the bottom line in the last 30 days. Is this something you might be open to doing as well? If so, I can send some more info. That is an example of an outcome-focused opening message. It's very simple. It's like instead of saying, hey, how's the kids? Like, who cares? It's like just start with the outcome so that you know that every single person who replies to this outcome is a positive response. As opposed to, I know some people do this and they talk about it on LinkedIn, they're like, have a conversation. I'm like, why? It's like, hey, how's business? Right? They're like, business is good. How's your business? And they're like, business is good. Just checking your profile. Nice work on the new project you just finished. Thanks. Yeah, so I was thinking like, how's growing the business going? Oh, it's going okay, thanks. How's growing your business going? Okay, thanks. Yeah, I mean, we do lead gen. Do you potentially want lead gen? No, no thanks. It's like that whole interaction. This is real, this happens every day and it's just pointless, right? We could have just gone to that same point at the start, but just send the message. So goal of the first message, the first interaction is to get the response. Okay, so that's cold DMing, cold messaging. It makes sense. It's like, hey, offer, do you want this? Yes, I can send some more info. And we have these exact scripts in the free community. So again, if you just want the exact things, just join that and then we can send it over. But again, it's like, hey, do you want to book an extra 10 to 20 leads for your roofing company in the next 30 days? If so, I can send some more info over. That's it. That's all you have to say. We have clients who have booked 15 calls a day with automated messages saying that. Hey, Nim, would you be open to booking an extra 10 to 20 calls for your agency every single 30 days on a pay and results basis? That's it. That is the message. Or you can end it with something like, if so, happy to send some more info. That is it. They just say yes. That is all, right? Now, how does this apply to, let's say, cold calling? Because people are like, oh, but yeah, this is fine on DM, but what do I say on a cold call? It's the exact same. So let's say you start the cold call. It's like, hey, is this John? yeah, this is John. Hey, John, I'll be honest, this is a cold call, but I do have something that could potentially help you to book an extra 10 to 20 calls every single month. It's completely paying results. But look, I don't want to start pitching here. Is that something you might be open to? They're like, yeah, I mean, yeah, just tell me a bit more. It's like, perfect. Then you go to the next step. Right, so you see what I'm doing there? Cold call doesn't have to be some like greasy moment where you're like trying to finesse them into a sale. It's like, look, I'll be honest, this is a cold call, but I honestly just want to see if you want to book an extra 10 calls a month. We just helped the company down the road to do the exact same thing. By all means, you don't have to, but if so, I could just send some more info on how it works. Would that be okay? Yeah, of course. It's like, why would they say no? Unless they're at full capacity, which is fine, then you just move on. Right, so that's step one. You just send a message or say something to get the initial response. That's the goal, a response. And as long as what you're saying is tailored to an outcome, you're fine. Move to the next step. Now, step two, at this point in the process, you have got the response. The next thing you need to focus on is getting interest. Right, so what you need to be sending next is called an overview. Now, this overview is essentially just saying what you do, saying how you can help in a concise way to get them to the next step. The goal of this one is to create interest in the prospect, right? You sent the initial message, they replied, there's a little bit there, but we want to increase that interest so that the chance of them booking when we make the offer is as high as possible. And it's very straightforward. So I made a 4-step framework that you can use. I would just pause the video, write these things down, and just ask yourself, what are these things for you? So the 4 steps is offer, proof, steps, CTA. Now, what do these mean? Offer is saying what you do. We help roofing companies to generate an extra 20 qualified estimates every single month on a pay and results basis. That's the offer. If you need help creating the offer, just join the Thursday calls. I will literally just give what works already. We help agencies increase revenue by 30 to 100K within 12 months on a pay and results basis. These are offers. These are outcomes that you generate. The next thing is proof. We get this offer, but we've also done this 350 times. Zach added an extra 120K in 90 days. Jovan went from 0 to 10K in 30 days or 80 days. This person got this outcome. This person got this outcome. This person got this outcome. So just showing them a handful of examples to show that you know what you're talking about. Number 3 are the steps. What are the 3 steps that you would take to achieve this outcome? Well, if we were helping agencies, we'd help them build an offer so they can stand out, present the value, get them bookings so they can have conversations with qualified prospects so that they can speak to. And number 3, close the deals so they can get cash in and deliver for them. 3 steps, that's it. Benefits, clear. Now, step number 4 is CTA. So given that we get this outcome, we've helped these people, these are the steps we take, would you actually want to speak about how we could potentially do this for you? That's it. So this overview, I purposely didn't say like, okay, this has to be a video or this has to be text or it has to be something else, because again, these are principles that can be applied everywhere. It can be on a cold call, it can be on an email. So what we usually recommend is if you're doing it via a messaging platform, have like a 2-minute video that explains how it works, right? And again, we have examples in the free group. But for example, all these points, the 4 steps, you would just say this in the VSL. You'd say it in the little video that you send over. They're like, how does it work? You send that over. They watch it. They're like, okay, this makes sense. Now, if you're on a call, let's say you're doing a cold call, it's slightly different, but it's exactly the same, you know, in terms of what you're actually conveying. So let's go back to the cold call example. It's like, hey, like, I'll be honest, it's a cold call, all of that, etc., etc. They're like, yeah, tell me how it works. Then from there, you just say, cool. So what we usually do is we help agencies to add an extra 30, usually 100K per month. I mean, we've done this for, 300 agencies at this point. I mean, the last one, he added an extra 50K in around 30 days. We do this using a, honestly, very simple system. I mean, step 1, we build the offer, then we help you get more calls, then we help you close the deals from there. So if you're open to it, I'm happy to just hop on a quick call or even just discuss and see how we could actually fit this into your business. Is that something you might be open to? They're like, yeah, I mean, that sounds good. So you see there, I'm not going into like the technical details. Like, we're gonna set up your emails, we're gonna do this, we're gonna run Facebook ads. I didn't even mention that. I'm just talking about the high level steps to get that outcome. I hope this makes sense. So Again, this applies to DMs, it applies to messages, it applies to emails. When we were running the lead gen for our clients, when we work with agencies, we'd run their campaigns, help them with sales, we charge 24 to 48,000 upfront for this. We would just use text replies. So these 4 steps, we just sent it in an email as text to the prospect. After they said, yes, this is interesting, I want to learn more. And that booked the call. That is it. So again, I really want to emphasize, it's very simple. You just need to get these variables right. So again, I would highly recommend, either if you're a client in the program, join the coach call, schedule a one-on-one call, message me in Slack, or if you're not a client, just join the free group, join the Thursday call, and let me just review the messaging that you have, the conversations that you've had, because it's really simple. Now, at this point in the process, you've gotten the initial response. You've built up their interest by explaining what you do in a little bit more detail. You've showed some proof. Now it's like, okay, how do you get this conversation to a booking? And you want to ask yourself the question, why would someone book a call with you instead of just asking you to send some more info? Why is a call supposedly more valuable than the information? Genuinely ask. Like, ask yourself, why is that the case? And the reason why is that more information, yes, you can send them a video, that's easy. But the reason that the call is valuable is because you can personalize the recommendations for the prospect and really, really understand this. Because if you understand that the reason for the call is personalization, then that's how you're going to get the call. That's how you're going to ask for the call. Because, okay, there's interest. They want to work with you or they want to know more. It's like, cool. So what I'm happy to do is we could set up a quick call. I can walk you through the systems, but most important, I can tailor it to your situation, which would imply that you need to learn about the situation first, which is what you'll do on the call. So if you say it like this, perfect. So happy to set up a quick call where I can learn more about your company, what your goals are, and then I can give you some personalized recommendations on how you can get to the 50K. Is that something you'd be open to? If so, I can just send a link over and you can book there. Now there's a reason. If you just said, hey, we should book a call sometime. They're like, could you just like send some more info? Like, how does it, like, just tell me a bit more about how it works, but like, let's not get on a call. That's how they will respond, genuinely. So again, these are principles. So if you're doing this on email, same thing. If you're doing this on message, same thing. If you're doing it via cold calling, same thing. It's like, you should really be emphasizing. It's like, cool. So honestly, I could walk through this in a lot more detail, but I would actually just need to learn quite a bit more about what you do, what your goals are. And then based on that, I can give you some personalized recommendations on how we can get you to this 50K. Is that something you'd be open to? Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's go on a call. I can walk you through it. Should take around 45 minutes. Would Tuesday work for you? Yes, okay, book them in. That's it. That really is it. So what a conversation can go like, just zooming out on everything. It's like, hey, I just want to check, would you be open to booking an extra 10 to 20 calls every single month on a pay and results basis? If so, I can send some more info. I mean, yeah, tell me more. You send a video, 2 minutes, it explains everything. Is this something you'd be open to? Yep. Cool. So what I think we can do is we can set up a quick call. I can walk through what it would look like, tailor it to your situation. Based on that, I mean, we can give some recommendations from there. Would that be okay? If so, I can send some times. Okay, booked, done. That is it. I have so many conversations on my LinkedIn, on my Instagram, all that. It's 3 messages each, and then they're booked in. Like, it's quick. Within 5 minutes, there's a booking, just because I understand this. So these are the steps. Now I'm gonna walk you through what you can do to see even better results. But what I want you to do quickly is just pause the video. Just do it in your head if possible. But just ask yourself, what is going to be my initial message? Just say it out loud. What is going to be my overview? Say it out loud. And then number 3, what is going to be my call to action to get them onto a call? Right? You need to understand this. It should be top of mind. You don't even have to write it down. Just say it so that you know, okay, I have something. If you don't have the thing, we need to create one, right? We need to get this created. So do this now. And once you have this, then move on to the next one. So there's 2 principles that we've seen across our clients. I mean, some get phenomenal results so quickly, right? Like one of the examples is Jovan. There's an interview with him on the YouTube. 0 to 11,000 in 80 days. I started from nothing. And how are these sorts of results possible? The first one is speed, right? Now, just think about this. If you're in a conversation with the prospect, which option do you feel has the highest likelihood of getting a response or getting a booking? Someone who you send a message to them and they reply in 3 days. The other, you send the message to them and before you even close the app, there's already a response. Who is going to have a higher likelihood of booking more calls? Obviously the one who's replying quicker, right? Because people value speed, they value things now. So the first thing you can do to massively improve your results using this system is to just reply as quickly as possible. Make sure you have notifications on first if you're doing this yourself. Honestly, the best option is having something like an AI system or an automation to reply on behalf of you, which again could be done. All of our partners in the partnership program have something like that. But worst case, get a team member, right? Have someone with notifications on who can reply immediately and just get the result, right? The best setters I know, I could tell on my team, is I would send them a direct message, let's say on something like Slack, and I could tell how good they were at setting by how quickly they replied. Honestly, it was directly proportional to how many bookings they got every month to how quickly they responded. And the best ones were always quick, they were fast. Now the next principle is volume, right? Again, imagine 2 scenarios. One person sends 10 messages in a week and he books 1 call, right? The second person sends 10,000 messages over the week. Who has a higher chance of booking more calls? Most likely the one who's sending a lot more. So the other principle that you can follow besides speed is also just send as much as you possibly can. And this applies to not just emails and sending and DMs, but also calls. The more calls you make, the more calls you're going to get in terms of bookings. So again, focus on volume. How do you do that? Firstly, you can get more accounts, whether you're using Instagram, Facebook, all of that, get more email accounts, or just make more calls, to be honest. The other option is having leverage, right? So having team members who can do these things on behalf of you, having setters, having dialers. But the other one, and honestly one of the highest leverage ones, is posting content. So if you go to my LinkedIn, what you're going to see is that every single one of my posts, it's getting engagement, right? It's getting people who are liking, who are commenting, who are saying they're interested in this, that the information is valuable. Every single one of these people, they're all a lead, right? They're all someone who can be reached out to and they have the highest likelihood of replying. So if I spent my time doing outreach, which I don't do anymore, but if I reached out to all of those prospects and people who liked and engaged, not only would I have more people to reach out to, but I would also have people with a higher likelihood of replying. And that's just going to get your results up more than anything. So what I'd recommend is that short-term goal is that just get as much volume out as you can. Schedule the time, just get it done. If you're doing something like cold calling or cold emailing, just either get more accounts for email or just get dialers for cold calling. They can be fully commission-based. They can just, they get paid when they get bookings. On the other side, get more accounts, and then eventually on these social accounts, start posting content. So these are the steps. And like I was saying, the action item from this one is just, even out loud, but ideally on a piece of paper or written down, write down what your 3 stages of the process are. To get the initial response, what's the first message you're going to send? What's the script you're going to say on the cold call? To get the interest, what are you going to send after that? Is it a video? Is it text? If you don't know, just start with text, that's fine. And then what is your CTA going to be? How are you going to incentivize people getting on the call? And if you just use this script and use it consistently and reply fast and send volume, I promise you, you will get bookings.